Said I could not love you. I spoke too soon. 'Cause now you're gone and I need you. So take back, please bring back my baby blues.
So my university has us go to a certain select amount of different events, to listen to different speakers talk. It's all over the place. A few days ago, I was with like Tibetan monks, and they were doing weird throat singing. I don't know what that was about. But anyway, recently I had to. I went to a thing. Recently, I went to a speech about suicide and anxiety, and dear God, it was the most awkward, cringiest thing I've ever been to. So let's break this down. So it opens up, there's two guys, and it opens up with one dude who's like this, honestly, this fat neck beard. But he comes up and says that, I am a family therapy specialist, but I also have a specialty in another thing. And then he does his jazz hand and he goes, suicide! And the room's just dark. Not dark. The room's just quiet. And you could tell this dude lives on the internet. He is all about them edgy jokes. So he was trying to do like a little hey, suicide, that's funny, right? A little suicide joke in there. Which, if you're going to give a speech about suicide prevention, maybe lay off the suicide jokes. I'm all for a suicide joke. You might see a few of them in this video, but maybe not in a serious speech about it. But, so he does that. The room's silent because my university has no sense of humor. Like, none whatsoever. They're the type of people that worry about, oh, Starbucks. In fact, we just got a Starbucks. We had a little, frankly, a game room with a pool table, and that's where the Video Game Society would meet and play some Nintendo Smash type thing, where they're all fighting each other. I only know that because I went over there a few times to get some M&Ms. I love my M&Ms. But they got rid of all that and replaced it with the new Starbucks. So there's that. They're all worrying about gluten-free. It's the most basics of basics over at that university. That's why I don't say a word. I don't talk to anybody. I don't deal with that crap. But here this dude is, and like when you see an edgelord memer, and like you make that connection, like, hey, you're an edgelord memer too. I want to show solidarity. I want to laugh at your jokes. So here he is, like in silence with a jazz hand suicide, and like there's no laughing. So I start to laugh. Then I realize I'm gonna be the only person laughing in the room at a suicide joke. So I just sort of stop midway. So whoever's beside me just hears me go. Just silence. God, it was such an awkward thing. And this dude just sprinkled in memes throughout the entire presentation. He talked about a friend of his and his suicide attempt, and then like throwing a meme, like talk about like all the causes for suicide, and then all of a sudden show a picture of Britney Spears after she shaved her head, and like in a bad hair day. I don't even know what he was trying to say. And of course no one would laugh, but there was one part where people laughed, and it was not good. This speaker was so awkward. And when you're in an audience, it's sort of like you're part of the thing too. You're part of the whole event. You have to laugh when you're supposed to laugh. But nobody was laughing when they were supposed to be laughing. But he pulled out this statistic about every 15 minutes someone attempts suicide, which you can say any statistic you want. I mean, really, like you expect me to believe 6 million Jews and around 10 million people died in the Holocaust if you break that down into year and then day and then... That was a joke. Let's be clear here. That was a joke. I believe I'm required to say that was a joke by the Anti-Defamation League. But he sets his phone for every 15 minutes. It's going to beep. It's going to do a timer. And that's going to represent someone attempted suicide in the world out there. Or in the United States. I don't remember. And so he sets the phone to it. And the first time it goes off, he sort of holds it up, looks at the audience, and just points at it. And it's so awkward. His body language is so awkward. His facial expression is so awkward. You can tell he's trying to do a shock value thing. Like, someone just tried to off themselves. Someone just watched the Primus Prime 22 video. But because of how awkward it is, the people in the room who don't understand internet edgelords' facial expressions. Thought it was supposed to be some sort of joke, so you just get a few chuckles, which is awkward. But throughout the presentation, that thing keeps going off, and people keep laughing at it. And then eventually his time's up, and the other speaker, another doctor, talks about how drugs affect suicide or whatever, and then his phone will keep going off, and the other dude's like, "Oh crap, everyone's laughing, I better play into it." Looks like the dude still has his phone on, and it gets to the point where you're into the suicide prevention presentation, and every time you get this alarm that this statistic says that someone tried to suicide themselves, everyone's laughing. Everyone's having a good time. It was so awkward, and it wasn't a good experience. Behind me were two Mexican girls, which, by the way, if you're in North Carolina, you're really in Carolina del Norte. But they kept dropping stuff, like they dropped their phone like twice or 3 times during the whole presentation, and at one point they dropped a tomato. And it just rolled from between my legs and down. Because it's on a slope. You know how the seats are. So there goes a tomato all the way to the ground. Why did you have a tomato? Did your abuela need you to pick the farm before you went to the suicide prevention presentation? And you know that tomato's not clean after rolling down the entire auditorium. It was just a mess. But in the presentation, they gave us this little doodad. A little "do you want to die?" questionnaire. So you know what? I haven't touched this since I got it. You know, they were passing out like, dear God, I'm just sitting here trying to get my credits and you're just giving me more paperwork. I got enough essays to write. But I think we're going to give this a shot. We'll be very respectful while doing so. Was that a good wink or like a retarded wink? I can't wink. Well, hopefully this works. Doubt it will, though. So name, I go by my Christian name. Clinician, Dr. Old Trucks Infinity. He has a PhD in Minecraft requests. I don't even know if that's focusing. This has potential to go very bad. You guys also get to see my handwriting, isn't it beautiful? Date 27 November 17. Instructions. How often have you been bothered by each of the following symptoms during the past 2 weeks? For each symptom, put an X in the box beneath the answer that best describes how you have been feeling. Feeling down, depressed, irritable, or hopeless? Well, I'm still doing this YouTube channel, aren't I? So nearly every day. That's what happens when you read the comments. Why'd I put a 3 in there? That's stupid. What if I do a little zoom out here? Oh, this is max zoomed out. I have no idea what I'm doing. How often have I had little interest or pleasure in doing things in the last 2 weeks? That's very vague. Doing things? Well, I guess I'm lazy. Let's go more than half the days. Trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or sleeping too much? Well, how can you fall asleep after doing Sam, put the cube in my chest now? I still have nightmares of that. Poor appetite, weight loss, or overeating? Certainly not weight loss. We'll go with more than half the days, but it's unfair because Thanksgiving was a few days ago, so this isn't the norm. Feeling tired or having little energy? Oh, that's just me all the time. They call me low energy Jeb. Feeling bad about yourself, or feeling that you are a failure, or that you have let yourself or your family down. Well, again, every day I think of Primus putting the cube in my chest now. Or Sam put the cube in my... I can't even remember the title. Trouble concentrating on things like schoolwork, reading, or watching TV. Well, one of those, I guess. Since I've been putting everything off, I guess that's an everyday thing. Moving or speaking so slowly that other people could have noticed. Or the opposite, being so fidgety and restless that you are moving around. You know what? I don't think that's me. Thoughts that you would be better off dead or hurting yourself in some way. This channel is me hurting myself. In the past year, have you felt depressed or sad most days, even if you felt okay sometimes? In the past year. Not more than usual. No, I guess I got in a spike in comments. In which case, you guys know how the YouTube comments are. If you are experiencing any of the problems on this form, how difficult have these problems made it for you to do your work, take care of things at home, or go? It's very difficult. I don't know how I live on, knowing that anyone can go onto the internet and type in www.youtube.com/PrimusPrime22 and hit the subscribe button. Extremely difficult. Has there been a time in the past month when you had serious thoughts about ending your life? Dude, I've been streaming Minecraft, like, way too much in this past month. If that's not a call for help, I don't know what is. Have you ever, in your whole life, tried to kill yourself or made a suicide attempt? Again, Sam put the Q in my chest now was definitely an attempt on my career, and therefore an attempt on my life. If you have had thoughts that you would be better off dead or hurting yourself in some way, please discuss this with your healthcare clinician. Go to a hospital emergency room or call 911. I think I'm good. Office use only. Severity score. Is there even a score system? They didn't even tell. Let's add this. 3, 4, 20, 21, 22. That's a 22. None of these have scores, so apparently just saying I tried to kill myself doesn't matter. But what was it, 22? How do I know? Let me look up this thing. The total sum of the responses suggests varying levels of depression. Scores range from 0 to 27. In general, a total of 10 or above is suggestive of the presence of depression. I got, what, 22? I got severe. I should prescribe prescription drugs. If there are poor responses to treatment, immediately refer the patient to a mental health specialist for counseling. Alright, so that's what the Primus Prime 22... That's what running my YouTube channel does to you. So, there's that. Jesus Christ, this is you know this video is not going to be monetized. There's no way I can get away with not putting suicide in the tags, and that's how they'll get me. In order to pull off that good guy Primus thing, I'll just stick a suicide hotline thing in the description. I know you might need it after watching my videos. Gotta do something to balance out the edginess, which I really doubt I did, but whatever. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. Check out social media links in the description. Maybe subscribe if you like, if you check out any of my other videos. I mean, a good decision's a good decision, boss.